So this trick is going to be all about an exercise in perception. So, for example, this deck of playing cards, you may perceive me taking this box of playing cards out of this holder. You may perceive me opening the top of the box of cards and taking out the first card. You may perceive this as an 8 of clubs as it appears, and perceive me putting it back into the box in the top and closing it. Now, all of these perceptions are true. You also may perceive me putting this box back into the holder like so. Now, the one thing that we didn't think about was your perception of the entire trick from the beginning, because the perception of the box was all in your mind.
And just like the box, my perception of this movie was a little transparent.
From the old movies of 30 years ago and beyond,
to the world of the new films of the last 30 years.
to the movies that are now playing, this is Old, New, and Now Playing. And now, here's your host, Will Robinson Smith.
Hello and welcome to Old, New, and Now Playing, your time machine through the world of movies. I'm your host, Will Robinson Smith. Thank you so much for joining me, and thank you to my brother Isaac for dropping some magic for us at the top of this video. Really do appreciate it. He's been doing that for, since we were 7 and 8. I mean, really little, and he's quite skilled. It's just a small sampling of what he can do. I think he should do some more magic online, either YouTube or Instagram. So if you agree with me, go ahead and drop him a line on his Instagram account. Tell him he should put some more tricks up online for us to see and enjoy. But we'll talk to him and bug him more about that later. For now, we're talking about another street magician that's at the focus of this movie. Let's get straight to it. This is no sleight of hand. This is your feature presentation. So the movie is set in present-day Hollywood and follows the story of Bo, played by Jacob Latimore, a young adult who's just out of high school. We learn early on in the movie that Bo's parents have died, leaving Bo to raise his little sister Tina, played by Storm Reed. Most of Bo's identity is wrapped up in his persona as a street magician, doing illusions for tourists and locals with an almost supernatural ability. Unbeknownst to Tina, Bo is also a drug dealer who sells to people in the LA party scene. Life for Bo takes a turn for the worst when the drug dealer he works for, Angelo, played by Dual Hill, steps up their operation in a dangerous way, forcing Bo to try to find a way out.
We're gonna pay him a little visit. Talk to him about etiquette. Let's go.
The film feels like an interesting blend of a couple of different genres. On the one hand, it has some tones of a superhero origin story, while wrapped up in a late teen, early adult drama of a kid trying to make a better life for himself and his little sister. And there certainly are a lot of entertaining performances throughout the movie, but I think the one it really hinges on is that of Jacob Latimore. Some of you may remember him from last year's Collateral Beauty or 2014's The Maze Runner, but the 20-year-old is fairly new in the movie world. I thought he did a really nice job though in this film. He's got a cool swagger to him, and he plays the duality of a drug dealer and a good big brother with some nice balance. It never really feels like he's too much of one personality or the other, but to me he gave the sense that he's really just a guy trying to deal with having to balance both worlds. He works for a guy named Angelo, played by Dual Hill. If that name sounds familiar, he's already had a steady career in television, starring as Guster in USA's Psych, and as an aide to the president on HBO's The West Wing. Personally though, I'll always remember him as Sam in one of my favorite movies growing up, Holes, where he played, Sam the onion picker. To be perfectly honest though, I am a little bit biased because I also played Sam in my college's production of Holes back when I was a freshman. It was actually the first thing I did at Northwestern University, so shout out to the Purple Crayon players. Dig it? In this film though, Hill plays a drug lord who values respect and loyalty above all else. It's a well done role that creates a logical bridge as to why Bo might fall in line with him at the onset of the movie. And as what should come to a shock to no one considering this type of movie, there is a love interest element. Bo falls for one of the girls he performs for, Holly, played by Seychelle Gabriel. And while I do like her character, I'm not the biggest fan of her story arc. Without going into any spoilers, her point A and point B work for me, but the journey to get there is just a little bit too rushed. As for the superhero element that I alluded to, there's not a whole lot that I can go into without ruining the movie, but the reveal of exactly how Bo can do the things he does is fun and a little reminiscent of the first Iron Man. The struggle for Bo feels genuine and grounded and gives a satisfying conclusion, mostly. Obviously, I'm not going to go into any spoilers, but I will say that the movie does end in a way that certainly leaves it open for a sequel in kind of one of those ways that's sort of almost unnecessarily teasy, like, oh, there's a sequel coming, guys. It's right over here. Just watch the movie first. Could have done without it. But considering the film has made more than $3.5 million on a production budget of just $250,000, there's a pretty decent chance, just based on profit, that it will get a sequel. May depend on if there are people giving it good buzz and good word of mouth too.
Where the f do you come from where people do business like that?
Now, there were some things that I wasn't crazy about plot-wise, but I honestly had a good time with it, and I think it's one that you should check out if you're looking for a magic movie that doesn't completely jump the shark like the Now You See Me films. I give Sleight a 7.5 out of 10. The movie didn't blow me away, but I certainly had a good time with it and would like to come back and see where those characters go if a sequel does end up coming around. Now, you probably noticed that this video isn't actually in the Now Playing section since this movie's been out of theaters for a little while. Rather, it's in a new section on my channel called Stream It or Own It. It's for a crop of movies that, for whatever reason, I wasn't able to actually review while they were in the theaters, but were still ones that I wanted to talk about, so I'll always be buying it, and I'll let you know whether I think you should, well, stream it or own it. For this one, I'm gonna give it a stream it, and the reason for that being is that while this disc does come with the Blu-ray, the DVD, and the digital download, there aren't any special features on this Blu-ray, so for me, there really isn't an upside to owning the physical copy unless you just really want that in your library. If you're one of the people that just likes to have a nice visual representation of all the DVDs and movies and Blu-rays that you own, I'd say that would be really the only reason to actually physically buy the thing, but I still think it's one that you should watch. I gave it a 7.5, as I mentioned, so overall I did like the movie. As, you know, somewhat predictable as it may be, I thought the characters really helped flesh it out, and there were some really interesting sequences that I won't go into details for you on, but are ones like a good magic trick that you should just see in the moment. So those are my thoughts on Sleight. When you've had a chance to either stream it or if you really want to buy it, buy it. I want to know what you thought of the film. Leave your thoughts in the comments section below, as always, and what's one of your favorite movies based on magic? I think for myself, really the go-to answer is The Prestige, of course. I'm still partial to The Illusionist. I thought that was, those films came out right around the same time, and I think that one doesn't get quite the love that it deserves. But I want to hear what you guys think, so let me know. Thanks so much for watching. As always, if you want to follow me on social media, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at W_Robinson Smith. Thank you so much, as always, for watching, and I will see you next time.